Hello and welcome to a special episode of Discuss All Monsters, a bonus episode. I promised this in the previous episode that we're going to do a bonus episode, and we're going to go through, and through the power of screen sharing, we're going to rank all of the movies that we have talked about thus far. At least I'm pretty sure that I have put all of the movies that we have talked about thus far here. So I'm the one that's here on the screen. Nikki is only appearing in voice, which is, I'm sure that's fine. They have a beautiful voice either way. I've never done anything like this, so it's probably going to be a huge disaster. But so here we are. Here we are with the list. We have this tier list, and we're definitely going to make more tiers than are readily available. So why don't we start off with listing some of the tiers? What do you think? I think the top tier should just be the original Godzilla movie, just alone, sitting at the top like a king.
I think the only movie I would potentially... I think there's only one movie I would potentially consider putting up there with it. But I think at the moment, unless we have a change of heart later, at the moment, that sounds about right that it should just be that one.
So what do you want to name this tier? Because I'm thinking like God's Domain, the Zilla House.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
It'd be really funny to just call it, just because it's S tier, Shin Godzilla, because we're using the other meaning of Shin of just true Godzilla. This is the one.
Yeah.
This is truth. I know the first. I know the first poster, but some of these other ones I'm gonna have to be like, can you describe what that looks like?
Picking rice out of the, So the next one is Godzilla Raids Again, and this one is definitely worse than the original Godzilla. So we're gonna put that in A tier. We're gonna name these other tiers after we're done with every other movie. So we're gonna put that in A for now.
Yeah.
That's definitely lesser. We've talked. I mean, do we even need to talk about why it's not as good as the first?
It's clearly rushed. It doesn't gracefully deal with having two monsters in it. There's really cool emotional moments, and it's kind of a cool sequel in some respects. But the ending action sequence is totally limp. It just doesn't. It just doesn't work. This is not staying in A tier. I'm just going to tell you that now.
It's moving down, quite a bit. But for now, we're going to kind of do it this way. I think that I guess I should explain that I have this list here on IMDb that I'm going to be referencing for the order.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the actual list that I've been using for 2 years now to reference the order of episodes that we are going to. Through Discuss All Monsters through the first season. So I want to give a huge shout out to Nick the Dick 131415 for creating this all the way back in February 16, 2012. And you're just a real G, Nick the Dick. So thank you so much for doing this. So you're going to see me referencing this a couple times. The next movie we got up is Rodan. That one should be pretty easy because it's the one with Rodan on it. And Rodan is way fucking better than Godzilla Raids Again, but it's not super good. So I think we'll move Raids Again down to B, and we're going to put Rodan in A. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Rodan is an interesting movie in a lot of ways, but it's two weird movies stapled together. It definitely feels like a kind of amateurish movie in a lot of ways, but it's got more specific weird charm and interesting stuff to it than Raids Again, which just feels like a crappy cash-in. Not the worst movie by far, but there's,
Oh, no, yeah, Rodan's pretty good. By many respects, I would say. It's also the first colored movie. I want to mention that and stuff. It's I get some points there. I feel like the first Godzilla gets it really benefits from being in black and white. But Raids Again, I feel like benefits way less from being in black and white. And I think at that point movies were in color already. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe it's a stylistic choice that just doesn't pan out as well in that one.
Next one is The Mysterians. This is a pretty interesting movie. It was kind of a controversial movie for us personally when we talked about it. Unless I think Mysterians goes above Raids Again, but below Rodan. So,
yeah. I would definitely put that.
Yeah,
there,
maybe in the same range as Rodan, but we can figure that out later.
I currently have them both as I have Raids Again and Mysterians both as B, and then Rodan in A.
Okay.
Because I think Rodan is like a decent bit better than Mysterians.
That's good. I'll move Raids Again up to B. So that's fine. Next one, that's going to be Varan. That's going in Varan tier.
yeah. I think Varan is definitely the worst one. I think. Yeah. I don't think there's a.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think we've encountered anyone really worse than that. Even Space Amoeba, which we'll get to later, is it's bad, but it's not quite as bad as Varan. We'll put Varan here at the bottom. So it sucks. It's really bad. It's not even funny. Actually, the funniest part is how insanely blown out the copy that we had to watch on Internet Archive was, where it sounded like Tyler 1 screaming into the microphone, and the Tom and Jerry scream, and all those old Looney Tunes screens at all times. Yeah, Varan sucks. Next one is Mothra. This one is excellent, so it's gonna get a high place. I think it's second to the original Godzilla, honestly. So I'll put that. I'm gonna move Mysterians and Raids Again down to C. We're gonna move Rodan down to B, and we're gonna put Mothra in A. So
yeah. Totally. I completely agree with that. Mothra is a cut above the other ones for sure.
So next is King Kong versus Godzilla. I had an interesting experience where I didn't actually get to watch the real version of this movie. I watched the US version of it, which is kind of a worse version of it in a lot of ways. But I'm willing to accept where you want to put this, and I'll just go along with it.
Yeah, so I honestly think King Kong vs. Godzilla has one of the more solid, at least in these very early movies, has one of the better and more kind of succinct and interesting messages of this first batch. But it's still not the best movie. I would probably put it. I'm definitely going to put it in B next to Rodan.
Yeah, I think that's a good place.
I think it's better. I think it's better than Mysterians and Raids Again, but I don't think it's better than Rodan. I think whenever I think of Rodan, I pick out very clearly that scene of the guy, of the main character, remembering all over again what happened to him. And King Kong vs. Godzilla doesn't quite have anything that good. And it also has a ton, just so much fucking racism. It can't be understated. Racist. Just how extremely racist that movie is. So, it only gets a low B. So
yeah, for now. It might shift around.
Max. Yeah, for Max.
So Gorath is next. Now, Gorath is how is it compared to King Kong vs. Godzilla? I think maybe a little bit less than it. But it's not quite. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I think it has more interesting stuff going on than Mysterians and Raids Again. So we might have to put it in a separate, move those down to D, and then put Gorath in the C category.
Gorath is
kind of boring, but it has a really good ending. The ending is pretty cool, and it has the best monster in the whole franchise. So
the monster is used throughout. It has an extreme presence in the movie. You can't forget it, and also the ending destruction sequence by the god A.G. Tsuburaya is it filled me with genuine terror. So that really has to say something for it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it just goes in C alongside those other two movies, because it's not that much better than them.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
So it's worthy, but they're still kind of in the same ballpark. Like none of those movies are like terrible, but they're kind of like, if you're really interested in the history of this, like we were, then look into them. And I think Atragon, the next movie, is in that same ballpark. So Atragon just goes in the same tier as it's in the C tier, soon to be D tier probably, but it's in C for now. Matango, that's a really good movie. I think that's a cut above Rodan and King Kong versus Godzilla. I think that's in the A tier. Matango is just like an awesome, like, I don't know. It's just like very Ultra Q, very like Outer Limits and Twilight Zone and things like that.
Matango's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that movie is really, really good. So I think it deserves to be up there in the A tier.
Yeah.
So we got the original at the top. That's the S. And then we got the A, that's, Mothra and Matango. B is Rodan, King Kong vs. Godzilla. C is Raids Again, Mysterians, Gorath, and Atragon. So I have them in just, like, release order right now.
Full agreement. Full agreement.
And then the bottom is Varan, because it's fucking terrible.
Because it's fucking Varan.
Next one is Mothra vs. Godzilla. I think this one is also really, really good. It's not quite as good as the original Mothra, but it's like, as a sequel, it's so good in a lot of ways. It's really interesting.
A tier?
I think it deserves to be A tier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Rodan.
Yeah, either it's A tier or like it's B tier and everything else moves down a tier. Again, we gotta find the poster. So
it's the one with Mothra and Godzilla on it.
Shut up. God damn it. Yeah, I'm trying to break out my very meager katakana knowledge to be like, Mothra versus Godzilla. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the one that's got
Mothra
up on. It's got Mothra up on the top.
Yeah.
Godzilla's like, get the fuck out of here, dumbass. So, like
we got a Gator the three-headed monster. Very biased. That's going in A tier for me. Do you disagree with that?
No.
Yeah, that one.
I think it is. It's like a turning point for the series.
Like
where
it's just
it kind of turns into something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite Showa movies. Period. So so good.
Yeah. For real.
And then next is Dogora. This is going into the same tier as Mothra vs. Godzilla because that's a weirdly really good movie.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. We really love this movie.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Diamond theft movie that turned out to be extremely interesting in a lot of ways. It has Mark Johnson, the best character that they've ever introduced in the Toho Monsterverse. So,
and this one's easy to find because it's got the old jellyfish squid motherfuckers.
Yeah, baby. All right, so we're going at a good clip. Invasion of Astro Monster. I think that's in like the like Rodan and King Kong vs. Godzilla tier. It's a like enjoyable movie, but it feels like just such a repeat of stuff that we've already seen before.
Yeah, I would say it's probably better than both of those though.
Yeah,
and stuff it's better than both of those though, but does not make it get out of the tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like it. Like it's still very much in there.
Frankenstein versus Baragon. This is a fucking great movie.
Fuck. Okay, so here's something for me that might be a sticking point. I almost think that the Frankenstein movies and a couple others are so good that I think they deserve a tier above Mothra and Matango and Ghidorah.
I think that's a good. That's fine. I'm fine with that. As much as I love Ghidorah the three-headed monster, I think that is a fine thing. We're gonna add Frankenstein vs. Baragon and War of the Gargantuas into that tier instantly. Those movies are fucking just
amazing. They're so good. Like Oh my god, the final sequences of both movies are like some of the best stuff in all of the movies. And God, I love it. It took me no time to find the Frankenstein picture because it's got him fucking swinging Baragon by the fucking tail.
Oh, you know what movie I need to add to the list? Actually, Daigoro versus Goliath. That was not on the.
Oh right.
I think.
And that
so
one,
I'm gonna search.
that one's gonna be earth shattering because we're gonna put it right next to Godzilla.
Yes, we are. Now, let's see. We got Ebirah Horror of the Deep. We're big fans of this fucking movie. It's very good.
This is where the hot takes start fucking rolling.
Oh yeah.
What? Hold on. Where's the Ebirah poster?
Oh my god.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Okay.
I see it. Okay. Yeah.
Like, god damn it.
Yeah. No, I see it. Mothra's on the top. Godzilla's under Mothra, and then there's big old fucking lobster hands right under Godzilla. So, Ebirah. Do we put that? I think that goes in the Mothra versus Godzilla and Dogora tier.
Yeah, that's good.
That sound right?
That's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's got some issues, but like, and you know, it being Mothra related. It is kind of racist, but you know, it's not quite as like. I think the best version of that is yet to come. You know, I think the perfected version of that is in a couple movies. So, or maybe the next movie that we'll be talking about, because we already did War of the Gargantuas. So Son of Godzilla, that's just a purely better movie in a lot of ways. It's honestly one of my favorite Godzilla movies, period. So
yeah. So where's this one going? I feel like maybe I want to say that it's going to go in the Ghidorah, Mothra, Matango tier.
I think that's right.
Yeah, great.
It's got like probably my favorite scene in the Godzilla series of like Godzilla shielding Minya from the snow.
Yeah,
that's like such a beautiful shot, genuinely beautiful. This is we talked about this in the previous episode that the screenwriter for Terror Mechagodzilla was a woman. The only other woman screenwriter in all the Godzilla movies was a screenwriter for this movie, which makes sense because when we talked about it, you know that it was like a date movie that was popular with boys and girls. So that's cool, and that makes sense because I'm one of those. I'm like a total misandrist. I've become that in recent years. You know, like I get really excited when I see like it's when there are like female creators or at least like non-cis male creators. All right, well, King Kong Escapes. This one, I'm not super hot on, but I know Joey and you really enjoyed it, so I'm willing to like go back and forth. I think it could be in like the B tier.
Yeah,
not necessarily. I guess what I'm looking at is the B tier, but I mean like the Rodan, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Invasion of Astro Monsters tier. But if you want to bump it, like I think that there's a good argument to be made that it could be bumped up. It's a pretty weird and wacky movie, so it's got entertainment value there. I think it can be sitting with Dogora and like Ebirah and stuff like that.
I think it could too. But I think tentatively, I think I do agree though that like I really like the movie, but I think maybe what I would do is probably put it like as a quote unquote high C. Like I would put it as like it's the best one out of what's in that C tier personally.
Yeah. And we gotta put Z tier for Varan for the time being.
It's the Varan tier.
We should just name it Varan. Varan.
Nothing else is that bad except for maybe Space Amoeba. But
that should be in Space Amoeba tier, slightly above Varan.
It should be in what the fuck happened to that one costume tier? The fucking octopus or whatever it's
Gezera?
Called. Yeah, God.
The worst monster.
It's so
costume.
dumb. It's so dumb. I like dumb. I'm a Pigmon fan, and I don't like that one.
Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
This one, I think, I think it goes in the D tier as well. You know.
Yeah, I'd also say that. I would. I think it's. I actually did like this one a decent bit.
If you want to move it up to C, but
I was gonna say I don't like it as much as King Kong Escape. I think it fits in the same tier. I think this is kind of turning into like this is an average movie tier. Instead.
Yeah,
so,
like pretty good. Again, like anything above E is like this is pretty good. The E tier as it currently stands is like the if you want to, you can watch these.
Yeah.
Oh, all monsters attack. Whew, rubbing my hands together. Let's do some hot takes.
Oh my god.
Let's get this bad boy in here.
Okay. All right. You want to hear my fucking take?
Uh-huh.
This is an easy B tier. Like easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think.
No. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. It's just is. It's that good. It's so good.
Yeah, I love this movie. I'm sorry, everybody. You're wrong. It's a good movie.
Yeah, All Monsters Attack is up there with Son of Godzilla, which is up there with like Son of Godzilla and All Monsters Attack being that high is probably like wildly high. Like fucking Wikizilla is like shaking in anger at us.
Sorry, Wikizilla. Latitude Zero. This was this movie fucking owns. So I think it should be in B tier as well. This movie is insane. I said in the episode that I want to do nothing but watch movies like this for the rest of my life. And thankfully, the Planet of the Apes series let us do that as well. So,
subscribe to the Patreon at the $5 tier, and you can hear us talk about the Planet of the Apes movies, and especially Beneath the Planet of the Apes is
second episode when we peaked.
I want movies exactly like that forever.
Yeah, it's insane. Latitude Zero is fucking crazy. And we had a really good guest on that episode too, so I'm really proud of that episode.
Latitude Zero and probably the first Frankenstein are probably the two best and Daigoro are the best discoveries we made on this venture, I think. That there are movies that most podcasts would not touch, but we did, and we did a net good on doing that.
Yeah, I would say Dogora, but less so. Like, it's still a really good movie, but it's not quite as good as those.
I would say it's less of a giant recommendation and more of like a pet favorite.
Yeah. So we got Space Amoeba next, and that's going in the Space Amoeba tier.
Yeah, this one's going,
This one is fucking really bad, but not quite as bad as Varan. So, you know.
No. It's not actively unpleasant to watch.
Yeah, it's not like orally horrible to watch. Like, it doesn't like hurt my ears to watch it. It's just insanely like boring and like it's like a fake movie. You know, it feels like a cheap knockoff movie that's like making fun of Godzilla type movies. So, and I guess okay, yeah, we'll do Hedorah, and then we'll talk about Daigoro versus Goliath. But like, yeah, Hedorah, that's an easy A, I think. That's like,
this is the only movie I would even consider putting right up there with Godzilla. This is the only movie I would consider that for. But I think I totally respect and get if you wanted to stick it in A.
I think like Hedorah is so good in so many ways, and we had a really great time talking about it, and I wish we could talk about it even more than we did. But I think it's like not like the original Godzilla is so good because it's such a good like all around movie in so many ways, whereas like Hedorah is really good because it's like interesting and unique and tells a really interesting, bizarre but awesome and like coherent and like heartfelt story. Just in like the most psychotic way possible. So I think like it's not quite as approachable as the original movie. But it's like it's like literally like resting at the like it's like if the original movie is the king, then this one is sitting right by his side. You know, he's his right-hand man, or the queen, if you will.
I feel totally good about that and stuff. I will just say for listeners, spiritually, if it was only me, I would probably put this right in S.
Yeah.
I'd put it in S. But I think for the show, I think there really is nothing that actually does touch that original and stuff. Hedorah is just such a different flavor of like exactly the type of fucking. Okay, Latitude Zero, I definitely want more of that for the rest of my life. But if I could only subsist on one sort of movie, it's insane shit like Hedorah. Like that is, I love shit like that so much. It reminds me of fucking like Akio Jisoji Ultraman, which is like my favorite TV stuff that's ever happened. So it's
truly great.
Yeah.
My hot take is that Daigoro vs. Goliath should be right there next to Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It should be like
same.
It should be.
Yeah, I agree.
It should be. It's like insanely good.
Yeah,
it's like as good as Latitude Zero is. Daigoro vs. Goliath genuinely like brought me to tears with how good it was. It's an amazing, hilarious, bizarre, awesome movie in so many ways.
To reiterate, if it was just me, my dumbass would have both Hedorah and Daigoro in S. It's really funny though, because I think the more I look at this list, the more it's just like, no, our true characters being unhinged psychopaths is definitely like showing. It's definitely showing here, because I think the B tier, other than Latitude Zero, is filled with movies that people would culturally accept as being right below Godzilla. But A tier is filled with fucking what the fuck movies that we've put there right under Godzilla, and they're stuff above fucking these other extremely good movies. And so it's really good. I love it.
But we did put All Monsters Attack on the B tier, and that's like a despised movie. But it's secretly good, everybody.
Sorry. Oh yeah,
you're
for
all
sure.
wrong.
Yeah.
Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Okay, so this one's gonna be kind of tough, I think.
We came out pretty positive about it, but we had a lot of problems. I think it can go in the C tier. I think it has a lot of great stuff in it. I think it's worth
the manga stuff and all the human stuff is fucking top notch.
The monster stuff is just like horribly boring. Not, it's just like feels like totally fucking checked out, and they didn't really care, which is unfortunate because Gigan's like a cool looking monster. Thankfully he gets his redemption in the next movie, but I think that movie should be in like the same tier as it. Just because it's like, it's kind of the opposite problem where like you don't really give a shit about the humans, but the monster stuff is so bizarre and wacky. Mechagodzilla, the first one, should be in that same tier, because it's like, again, really good in some places but really bad in some other places. So I think that can be in that same tier. But I think once we place the final movie, we can kind of shuffle some of these around.
Right. I think Terror of Mechagodzilla is A, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We spoilers. We did record. We're recording this like right after we finished the Terror of Mechagodzilla episode, so it might be honeymoon phase. But I think that like, that movie was so fucking good, and if you listened to the episode last time, then you will kind of know that we really, really loved that movie and loved it a lot more than originally. So yeah, I'm gonna move it on up. I think we put it right next there. We put it right there alongside its four brothers in A tier. It's not. I don't think it's quite as good as some of the best from this. I think it's at least as good as like Frankenstein versus Baragon, maybe.
Same.
Because I personally think that War of Gargantuous is slightly better than it.
Same.
But not by that much, honestly. They're both so good that they deserve to be like right next to each other. So I think that like Terror Mechagodzilla's in that same kind of like, it's got some issues, but it's still mostly such a great send-off to everything. So yeah, we got all the tiers sorted out.
Right. All right. I guess just
think A is fine.
A
is fine exactly as is. S is fine exactly as is. B, I think is fine as is. I think that Latitude Zero may not be the best movie, but it's really, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I want to keep it in.
Yeah, it's so fucking fun that it really is like in league with those other ones for sure. Ebira, Mothra, Dogora tier, I think is totally fine. Those embody a certain level of quality that I think is distinct from the one right below it. Yeah, so I think those two are definitely fine. C and D.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think we can maybe add one or more of the E movies up to D.
Yeah.
Because those movies have their own distinct flavor, like those three. But I think that, like, what we were kind of getting at is that, like, King Kong Escapes is like a little bit better than these other.
Right.
movies
Yeah.
here,
I agree. So King Kong Escapes goes up there to D.
Yeah.
But I think the other four are kind of okay where they're at. Like Invasion of Astro Monster, Destroy All Monsters, Rodan, King Kong vs. Godzilla. They're all kind of the same level of quality. People are gonna fucking hang us for fucking saying Astro Monster's not that good, but
they should watch the movie again and make their own decision.
Godzilla floating around in that bubble is really good though.
That is good. Yeah, that's right.
And then F tier, Atragon, not Dogora, fucking Gorath. Yeah, that's fine. And then Space Amoeba. Okay, so do you want? I wonder if Space Amoeba and Varan are actually distinct, to not be just one tier of just.
I don't think so. I just think that it's funnier this way.
It is funnier. It is really funny. But I do think it'd also be funny just to have this, like, this is the shit pit. It's just fucking Varan and Space Amoeba are the only two movies where we were just like, man, fuck this one and stuff. And like, Varan, we made a fucking 20-minute episode. We couldn't even fucking like we couldn't even talk about it. And then Space Amoeba, we basically did the same thing, but like for half of it, we talked about seafood. Which is fucking hilarious.
True.
So
we did also talk about Earth Defense Force, the video game series for Mysterians, because it's Shiki Boygu.
But that was only like 5 to 10 minutes of like an hour-long episode anyway, so it is a bit different.
You're right. Yeah, I can see. You know what? Yeah, let's I think it should just be like the Varan zone still, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's. I think like even if Space Amoeba's there, I think Varan zone kind of like signifies
Varan.
Like, this is what this tier. Yeah, this is what this is in.
Varan made such like a instant like setting of tone that like it was honestly kind of astounding. It honestly kind of scared me because I was just like, wait, are there going to be other movies this bad? Luckily, there was only one other one, but
yeah, it took a while for us to get to that one. You know how there's like the pebble, the ripple that became the wave, you know,
right?
The pebble thrown into the ocean. This is like the turd dropped into the toilet that became the wave,
right?
You know, that eventually crashed with Space Amoeba,
right? Yeah. All right, so
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, if we want to,
I think that's we're all good. We're all decked out on that.
Do you want to go down the list just one more time for anyone listening only?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we got at the very top, we have under Shin Godzilla or True Shin Godzilla or whatever, we have the original 1954 Godzilla movie, just all-time classic, amazing movie in many ways. Everything wants to copy its steeds, but can't quite get there. Even the best movies cannot quite capture what that movie brought to the table because it was so fresh.
Yep.
We got the 5 Heavenly Kings. That is Frankenstein Conquers the World, War of the Gargantuas, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Daigoro vs. Goliath, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. These are all movies that like are the supreme show of excellence for the genre in a lot of ways. Daigoro is like this perfect, hilarious movie. It's hilarious and heartwarming, and amazing and interesting in so many ways.
Yep.
I would say Terror of Mechagodzilla alongside the 2 Frankenstein movies are like these amazing, emotional, very like pathos-filled movies that really dig in on the themes of coexisting with these huge monsters that cause destruction, and all the humans that try to help or hurt them. And we got Hetero, which is this insane movie that's like very poignant and very about a specific topic. Some people may say preachy. I say fuck you. Some anvils need to be dropped.
Yeah. It is extremely about the point it's making, and it's making it in such an unignorable way that it deserves
style
respect.
For days. It's got style for days, baby.
The only other movie to do what it did with its message was the original. So it is up there. Yeah.
We got the Hey You Should Watch This collection with Mothra, Matango, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, what is this one? Son of Godzilla, All Monsters Attack, and Latitude Zero. All these ones are extremely watchable, extremely fun to sit through. I mean, Matango's very scary and depressing, but like it's a really great ride. Yeah. It's very short too.
Yeah.
And our episode on it was pretty short. So it like goes very quickly. Again, these are all insanely watchable movies that bring a lot to the table. Mothra's like this perfect Disney kind of movie that they wanted to create.
Yeah.
Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster is this huge turning point for the series. It really begins these themes of, treating the monsters with respect and coexisting with nature rather than fighting against it. Son of Godzilla is like this amazing movie where you have like a great human plot line, but an even more interesting plot line being told through the monsters.
Yep.
And like an amazing final fight and everything. All Monsters Attack is this like interesting meta reflection on Godzilla in a lot of ways.
By the guy that made it too. Like it's by
absolutely.
Honda,
And with the main characters named after the director.
Yeah.
So it's a very personal, interesting movie. Really give it another chance if you thought it was bad. Just go in with fresh eyes and try to see what it brings to the table. Latitude Zero, ridiculous, stupid fucking movie, but awesome as hell.
Yeah.
Very funny. I was like, we were in tears talking about it.
Yeah.
It was so funny
it's
on the podcast.
This might get the superlative. We might want to give superlatives if we think of them along the way, but Latitude Zero gets the award of being the most watchable movie, because I would if I am in a group of people more than like three humans in the room, I want to put on this movie and show people the best time they're ever gonna have with a B movie.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is so fucking good. I love it, and I would also say as an alternate title for both of these tiers, both the Five Heavenly Kings and both the Hey You Should Watch This collection, this is what I would call Explode When Defeated core. These movies are the movies that we made this podcast for. These are the movies that that we were like, this is what it's all fucking about. These 11 movies are exactly what we were looking for. They're fucking awesome, and they get the highest recommendation.
And before it, cool guys know, we got some movies that are kind of, not necessarily, they're chill, they're like really good movies.
Yeah.
But not quite as like insane as the other ones. Mothra vs. Godzilla, solid as hell. Really great sequel to the original Mothra, as well as like an interesting follow-up from King Kong vs. Godzilla. Godzilla's still a bad guy at this point. And you got like the cover shooting segment with Mothra, the two Mothra babies.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, Marcus and Dom fucking show up. Yeah.
We got Dogora, weird movie that caught us off guard. Very watchable, very interesting movie. Mark Johnson's great. A lot of weird Looney Tunes shenanigans going on in that movie. Monster isn't super interesting, honestly, but it gets the job done, and it's a great movie otherwise. Ebirah Horror of the Deep, again, got some issues with like the racism, but it's an insanely watchable movie. In a lot of ways. It's a great first outing from Jun Fukuda. It's got a ridiculously great soundtrack. Just a lot of surf rock going on in it.
Yeah.
And it's got, I don't know. I'm fine with Godzilla showing up like 50 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. Ebirah and All Monsters Attack are the most underrated movies out of like the Godzilla series. Yeah.
And then we got Dumb as Hell. That's Gigan, Megalon, Mechagodzilla, and King Kong Escapes. As you said before, I think that the first three movies I just said, they're kind of in their own sort of category, but I feel like King Kong Escapes is good enough to escape the category below it.
Yeah.
Where it's like a pretty fun movie, but not quite as good as the ones above it. These ones are like, I don't know, they're very uneven in that they have extremely good things in them, but then very bad or boring things in them.
Yeah.
You have the really good human plotline in Gigan, but then it's like insultingly bad monster stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have like the very bare bones, human stuff going on in Megalon. There's some fun stuff there, but for the most part, you're not very invested in that.
Yeah.
And then you have like a great like Royal Rumble match at the end.
Man, that car chase though. That car chase.
Yeah, very good car chase. And versus Mechagodzilla very similarly. Like all the monster stuff is A+. I love that there's like a fucking pop song to resurrect King Shisa / King Caesar. That's an amazing thing aesthetically, but it is still, it's not utilized very well because the story around it isn't very interesting, unfortunately. But it does have a great finale to it. And then King Kong Escapes is like a really interesting movie being part Rankin Bass and related to like a King Kong show that existed at the time.
Yeah.
It's got some elements of that, but it is like really cool to see Toho try their hand at making a live action adaptation of a cartoon. And we get Mechanicon.
Yeah.
So that's great. So then we got movies with runtimes. These are movies that are like, they're existing. They're not doing too much great, but they maybe, like Rodan, I think, did good in its time.
Right.
But unfortunately, it was like sort of outclassed by things that would be released later. Similarly with King Kong vs. Godzilla, surprisingly good in a lot of ways, very racist.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's got good.
It gets the non-superlative of most racist.
Yeah, I would say it's the most racist. I would say it's still a little bit better than the new Godzilla vs. Kong, just because it has more of a purpose beyond like being part of a franchise.
Yeah,
to me, like that's the biggest problem with Godzilla vs. Kong is that it really feels like trying to be a Marvel movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a piece of the puzzle of a franchise instead of this which was about like a meta criticism of the idea of King Kong fighting Godzilla.
Yeah.
So, it gets away with that. Invasion of Astro Monsters, alright movie, kind of just the worst version of Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Again, none of these movies are bad at this point. But this movie is just kind of lackluster coming right after the much better movie right before it. And same thing with Destroy All Monsters. It's just kind of the same thing again. It's just like... That's why Space Amoeba is so bad. It's because it's like the fourth fucking time that they tried doing a movie like that.
Yeah.
And it's just boring. So the Destroy All Monsters, though, is interesting because it brings all these monsters together. Like, it's definitely worth watching. And it's not like, do you really want to watch that kind of movie? It's just okay. It's a soft recommendation because of what it brings to the table. And it has a great final fight. If you really wanna, I guess, is Godzilla Raids Again, Mysterians, Gorath, and Atragon. Now, Godzilla Raids Again is an interesting follow-up to the original Godzilla movie, but it was clearly made on a budget and, like, is a lot worse in many ways. It just feels very, just a huge cash-in kind of movie. Then you got Mysterians. I really don't know what they were thinking with this movie. It's just kind of a boring alien movie that's slightly xenophobic.
Yeah, it has,
or maybe not slightly xenophobic.
Yeah.
It's pretty xenophobic.
It has some real issues with its messaging that get ironed out in the other times they do the Mysterians. Because like the Mysterians basically come back and get sequels. I mean, it got an actual sequel, but the Invasion of Astro Monster, Ghidorah, like there's a bunch of movies that kind of end up being Mysterians redos. Like Honda was definitely very into this idea, apparently, but
and I think he found a good balance later on. But for the most part, like it's just not super interesting.
Definitely.
Mothra, I guess, is an interesting robot kind of thing, but it's not like a super fun monster like some of the other ones.
Yeah. I would definitely say, like, if you count Terror of Mechagodzilla as a Mysterians-like, you know, if we're gonna say like Souls-like or something like that. If you count it as Mysterians-like, then it's definitely like he ended out with his best attempt at the idea. Yeah.
That's it's better than what it's a sequel to.
For sure. Yeah.
So, at doing that. So Gorath again, kind of dull all the way through, but then has a really great ending.
Yeah.
Very simple movie. It's hard to even talk about. Atragon, decent movie.
Yeah.
Again, kind of xenophobic in a lot of ways.
It's very much about the Yamato in a lot of interesting ways. But
it has like a dude with a rising sun flag, so watch out for that. But it is critical of this person, but it
doesn't go all the way. Go all the way.
Yeah. It's a little bit half baked, so it's kind of just a curio. And then the bottom tier, the Varan zone, we got Varan, which is a huge hulking piece of shit, as we've talked about many times. And Space Amoeba, which is a similarly hulking piece of shit. A little bit more watchable, but honestly not by that much. It's got that
turtle in it.
Not enough to get it into the... Yeah, that turtle is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
It was. I was like shocked by how goddamn bad and like not only repetitive but just derivative it was. So
yeah.
Other than that, you know, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the for this tier list. We said we were gonna do it early on, and we kept on alluding to it, and you know what? We sat down and we fucking did it.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for sitting around for an hour or however long I edit this down to, and watching me gesture in front of my webcam. And thank you for listening to our beautiful voices. If you're just listening to the audio version of this, if you are, maybe check out the video version on my YouTube channel for kind of a more condensed version of this.
If this is your first time, if you're coming from YouTube, if this is your first time seeing a Explode When Defeated thing, consider checking out the podcast to see like more in-depth discussion of each movie and how we felt about them, because I think what we said here today pretty much lines up with exactly how we talked about them on the podcast, so I don't think we actually changed our ideas that much. And you know, take a look at the Patreon if you want. There's extra stuff on there. There's a ton of stuff. We might be able to do this again whenever we finish another batch of episodes. Like, we'll see if we want to do it on camera or on the Heisei or whatever.
See you there.